My name is Judy Bryan. I'm 55 years old. I had fusion from T9 to my sacrum, so that's pretty much half of my back is fused and is in the process of fusing.
So we instituted a core, kind of a lumbar stabilization program where we focused on muscle re-education, getting the proper firing patterns of the core stabilizers. We also did some scapular strengthening exercises, as well as some lower extremity exercises. So we'll start with our marches in place. So remember, we're keeping our stomach tight to engage the muscles in our core. And we usually do this for we started with about 2 minutes, and then by the end we were doing about a 3 or 4 minute warm up, just to kind of get loose and kind of improve hip flexor strength. So now we're going to be standing up tall, and we're engaging in our stomach, and we're going to kick out to the side, just enough to engage our abductors, and then we're going to kick back, getting our extensors involved, and then we're going to alternate side to side. With this exercise, we're trying to improve hip abductor strength as well as adductor strength, and then into extension as well, kind of going back up into the lumbar spine with the extension component. And with this one, remember, we want to focus on not allowing those knees to come over our toes. With this exercise, we started with 2 minutes of doing this on and off, and we've progressed from there as we've tolerated it from session to session. So we'll step up with either leg first, our right leg up first, using the quad and the hip strength to really push up, not getting a bounce with that other leg or the push off with our down leg, but using all of our strength on that up leg. On land, stair climbing hurt, and she says in the pool, it really helps decrease the pain and some of the difficulty with doing that. We're working on stepping down. Remember, don't allow that knee to come in front of that toe. Good. So this is kind of addressing a little bit of balance components. You see she just reached out for the wall there, so it's addressing a little bit of balance, as well as now more hip strengthening, kind of working on the glutes a little bit more. Now let's work on our single leg balance. So we're keeping our stomach tight, we're holding onto the rail only as needed. We're lifting up either leg. Good, and we're working on balancing now. So kind of restoring that proprioceptive input that we lose post-surgically and starting to restore some of that neuromuscular re-education. So go ahead and switch and do the right leg now. So the right leg up. There you go, good. About 20-second hold there.
This is harder.
So at the beginning, Judy was really requiring the use of the bars to help stabilize and help prevent loss of balance, but as you can tell now, she's progressed to an intermittent need for it, but is able to self-correct pretty quickly and maintain balance. And a way we can progress from here is to add the jets, causing her to stabilize even more in that core to maintain balance. So the next exercise we're going to do, we're standing up tall, engaging that stomach, always being aware of the posture. We're marching up, kicking out, pulling it back in, and setting it back down. And this exercise actually serves twofold here. This is a dynamic hamstring exercise as well as dural mobility. So those nerves become pinched and impinged and lose some of that mobility through there with the nerve, with adhesions that build up post-operatively. So this is something that can improve neural mobility, allowing that sciatic nerve to glide freely. So what we're doing here is extensions. So she's maintaining her feet about shoulder width apart, and she's pulling back, engaging her stomach the whole time, kind of feeling that force of that dynamic stability through that spine, kind of engaging rectus and transverse abdominis as she does this, kind of those deep multifidi as well. And now, as you can see, Judy has now advanced to doing alternating extensions here, shoulder extensions. And what we're trying to accomplish here is engaging the oblique, the internal external oblique muscles, kind of an isometric here, using the water as that buoyant decompression of the spine. So she's got to keep her feet firm on the ground, which is certainly a challenge as that water wants to kind of lift you up, especially with the resistance here. That dumbbell fly that we've worked on, where you're engaging the stomach, feet are staying stationary on the ground. Good. Good. So as you can tell, she has great posture by maintaining those knees a little bit bent. using the stomach to engage her to stay feet flat on the ground. Okay, good. Squeezing back, so she's getting a good shoulder blade squeeze here as she does this, strengthening through that mid-back because we had that fusion go up into the thoracic spine. So these can be advanced by doing these moves, not only advancing the difficulty of the equipment and the amount of resistance that the equipment is going to hold, but also the speed of which she does them. The faster she goes, the more resistance that she's going to find. And what she's doing with this is rows. She's doing some rows. Again, working on as she pushes away and pulling back, she's going to really feel the push and the pull in the core muscles and the abdominal muscles, as well as kind of through that low back. So now we'll go into part of the session where we're walking. When Judy first started, like I mentioned, she was not using jets as resistance. We started pretty slow with this walking, and she was also holding on to the parallel bars next to her. But now, as you can tell, she's not using her hands. And we'll do this just to kind of warm up a little bit. So you can see she gets a good arm swing, working on trunk mobility, a little bit of that mobility through that spine. Good. And we're able to continue to walk and kind of make corrections with her legs. As you can tell, we have a couple cameras here that help us to visualize gait, how her legs are moving under the water. Good. So we have a side camera there, as well as a front camera here, that we can assess how she's moving her legs, making sure we're getting good heel strike, toe off. We're not using any sort of compensations with our hips as far as circumduction, things like that, but we're walking straight in good gait. So now we've sped it up to about 2.5 miles an hour now. Judy has progressed a ton with this one. The first day we did very little speed and duration of it because we just didn't have the endurance, we didn't have the tolerance. And as you can see now, she has great stride length, great mechanics as she's walking, getting a good arm swing. She has more mobility through that spine. Good. So as you can tell, she's getting good reach back. She's actually reaching the top of that treadmill. So yeah, so slowing down, allowing the feet to come all the way forward and a good reach back. Tightening up that thigh as she reaches back to work on hip extension, quad strengthening at the end there, at terminal knee extension. This is great to work on lumbar stabilization as well, kind of working on those lumbar multifidi. The way we end our sessions is with sidestepping. As you can tell, she's got great balance. She's doing a great job controlling herself. And now we've progressed to 1.1 miles an hour. And you can tell she still does a great job getting good stride length, really working on those abductors and adductors. Now we turn the other direction, working on right abductors, left adductors. The key to all of these is building that core stabilization so we can stabilize that spine right around the fusion level. All right. Thank you, Judy.